This is Tom Cloud with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. I just got, this is Tuesday, October the 4th, as I film video this, and I just got off the phone with a source in Europe that I've known for many years, over 30 to be exact, and we see prices coming down both in gold and silver. And he says, Tom, this is one time you don't even look at prices. He said, you don't look at prices under any circumstance because something big is getting ready to happen. Anybody that's known me for a long time is I try to bring information to you. I try to facilitate a percentage of what you want to put in the metals, give you the lowest price possible in the market, get you shipped to you free, rebroker it for you free. And I really don't try to create any pandemonium, but when this fellow who's a little over 80 years old, and I've known him over 30 years, tells me to ignore what the prices are doing and get my rear end into all the metals that I can afford, that something big is getting ready to happen. I said, is it going to be this week, next month, next year? He said, it's imminent. That's all I can tell you. But it's something that I ordinarily don't want to scare, but this person, if you knew him and he said it, you would heed and seriously think about what you're going to do. And certainly the ones that are on my mailing list today will receive a video that you need to look at about bail-ins, and laws have been passed in 5 different countries about taking part of your deposits. People, we're at a time that economics worldwide are changing. The FDIC hardly has anything to cover your deposits in the bank, less than 1/4%, less than 25 basis points for every $100. They have less than a quarter. I mean, this is getting very serious, and a lot of you are not going to have time to recover from mistakes and investments from here on. I've talked the last few weeks about money managers that I've never heard from, or friends that I haven't seen in years, that are now buying metals. Last week was one of the biggest weeks we've ever had in the 40-year history of this company, and most of it came from money managers putting a small percentage of their clients' money in physical gold and physical silver, not ETFs, but to have it. Most of you know about our storage program that don't want to hold the gold and silver, but we have the cheapest storage rates in a COMEX warehouse in the world at only 20 basis points a year after 6 months free rent. So if you're interested in metals and not having to take delivery and worry about storing them, this is the lowest storage deal in the world. But you need to be looking because the world is changing. Derivatives now are trumping everything. There's $2,700 trillion of derivatives out there. There's all this stuff is going to come down. There's no way to keep it propped up. And it is, I am alerting you as one of many people out there that are saying this, but you haven't heard me say it before. But I'm out there on a limb saying, I trust this guy. I've known him for 30-something years. He has never told me anything wrong from his heart. His time is not always perfect, but he is saying now that the collapse worldwide is imminent. And one thing he did say, if the United States raises interest rates in December, remember now, 62 months, the Fed has told you they were considering raising rates, and they raised them one time out of 62. So if they do raise them in December, even a 1/4%, in his opinion and the opinion of many, it will send the U.S. stock market and bond market down, and could be significantly down. So it's not a good thing for them to raise rates. The other thing he said to me is, and I've been watching the ruble. I said, no, I don't really follow the Russian ruble per se, but he says, because Russia's buying every penny they can into gold, we're now seeing a strengthening of the ruble, and this is intentional for them to strengthen their currency rather than weaken it for exports like everybody else. They're not looking at exports. They're looking at the future. And he said that it's not even bad to invest in the ruble right now. But anyway, these are just some things that you need to be following and need to be aware of. And certainly the most important thing you need to be aware of is to be sure you have no more in your checking account and savings account than you can afford to lose, because there's a good chance, if you watch the video that I sent out today, 10-4, if you don't, call us at 800-247-2812 and we'll send you the link. But you need to know the law out there, and remember, laws are not passed unless they're planned on being used. So this is very, very, very important that each of you, and I do feel that we are in that time. Once again, I can't tell you when banks are going to collapse, Deutsche Bank's going to go under, when the dominoes start, when interest rates are raised in the United States. We now see China with special drawing rights as of yesterday, and they've got about 12% of the pie, the SDR pie of the 5 currencies in it. They're starting out at 12 point something percent, while the United States is at 41%. It's going to be interesting to watch those two as they go through. And yet, due to the financial crisis meeting this week in London that could be going on as you watch this tape on the 5th and 6th of October, we don't know what they're going to do, but at some point, because we know that every how many tons of gold China has, they've been approved and the SDR has started, but for some reason, they've elected the IMF not to make public. And you can go out and try to say why that is. The most common one is China has a lot more gold than people thought, which means the United States may not have what they're supposed to have, which could send markets into chaos. But I can't tell you that's for sure truth, but that's the most common thing that I hear from sources as to why those numbers have not been made public, and China already has their SDRs. So anyway, keep an eye on all these things, and just please remember, you've been given money to be a caretaker of on this earth, to be a good steward of it. And being a good steward is educating yourself, not to go over, forget about the job you're doing. You're working and doing your job. This has been my job for 40 years, to come out there and try to help the little guy and the big guy diversify and get part of his assets into that. And listen to this, even after the drop of gold today, gold is still up 24% this year, and the stock market's up 2%. I mean, and you read all about how good the stock market's doing and how bad gold's doing. There's no numbers to back it up. It's just like misinformation. So anyway, hopefully you're doing that. If you need to contact us, you can reach us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. And if you have an IRA, you want to move part or all to safety in a physical precious metals IRA, give us a call, and Dan or Kathleen or I can help you by getting you a custodian. We can function as your broker and working with you on what percentage to put into gold, what percentage into silver. Do you need any palladium? Do you need any platinum? What drives these markets? And hopefully, you can give us a call and get your portfolio diversified, as the good Lord told us in Ecclesiastes 11:2, to divide our wealth 7 or 8 ways, because no man knows what disaster will come upon the earth. And people, not only are we looking at a hurricane coming toward the east coast of Georgia, we have a lot of other storms coming our way financially. Till next week, this is Tom Cloud signing out.